Today we are talking about, what are we talking about today? We're talking about how you can protect your plants from the cold and support your garden through the winter. So if you've ever had problems with protecting your plants from the cold, herbaceous plants dying off, I have a few tips for you today. Hello and welcome to this week's Natural Gardening Live with me, Josie Rainbird, your natural gardening coach. With the cold weather starting and the frosts, as we've seen this week, the frosts and the cold weather have definitely started. There are a few things you can do to manage the overall health of your garden, prevent your plants from dying from the cold, and to protect them as we go through the winter. Let me know in the comments, are you ready for winter? Are you ready for winter? To be fair, I know we're not in winter yet. We've got a few weeks, technically a few weeks, month or so to go, but yeah, it feels like it's winter out there. It's crept up on me a little bit because it's been lovely weather and now it's gone cold. So it's just all of a sudden just descended. So yeah, it's I'm just about ready. Just about ready for winter now. We are about ready. So winter tends to be loved and not so much as well. Tends to be loved and not so much by anyone that spent any time working outside in their life. It's like a Marmite thing, I suppose. I love walking in the snow. The dogs love walking in the snow. They don't see snow very often, so it's kind of a luxury a little bit when I'm down south. I love looking out onto a frosty garden. I love that side of it. Don't love so much the cold weather. It's not my favourite part of winter. I don't like the cold winds, the strong winds as well, because it's particularly nasty at the moment, and the rain. So those are the parts of this winter that I don't really like. But I do like winter as a whole, but from inside mainly. So that's just me though. Let me know also, let me know in the comments what you like about winter. Let's go on a bit of a positive for this one. Let me know what you like about winter. As I say, frosty garden. Do you like the look of the snow? Yeah, let me know. It's a little bit of a positive route on that one. So as we spoke about last week, we said winter can provide a lot of benefits for your garden. If you missed that live, if you're new to the group or you've missed the live or whatever, I keep all the lives up in the guide section. So each week we have a new guide. So check out the guide section for all the lives that we do. And it will also be on the YouTube channel as well, Gardening Naturally with Green Fingertips. So I've got a natural gardening live playlist. So they'll all be on there so you can catch up with those. So if you missed last week, so you can catch up. So last week we mentioned about the benefits that winter can bring to your garden. So this week we're more about the damage that it can cause, but there are a lot of benefits. So if you want to catch up on the benefits, go and find that one. The cold can damage a lot of the plants growing in your garden. So today I've got 3 methods for you to help you protect your garden from the cold and support your garden heading into spring. So we're aiming to support your garden rather than trying to just fix the problems as they occur. We're trying to then support further. So then when they come into the spring, they're going to be happier, stronger, healthier plants. Meaning they're going to need less care from you as you go through the growing season. Reducing the workload, reducing the stress, the care involved in your garden. So that's what these 3 methods will hopefully provide for you in your garden. First of all, so my first one I want to talk about is quite an obvious one, and it's probably the first one you would think of when it comes to protecting your plants from the cold in the winter. Physical cover, physical protection from the cold. So when I say about physical cover, it comes in the form of like garden fleece, bubble wrap, sacking. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, I couldn't remember the one that was that I was trying to remember. It was straw. It was like, what else can you shove into the sacking around your plants to insulate your plants, to insulate from the cold? I was saying like newspaper and things, and it was straw. Straw and sacking works really well together, and that creates a really nice insulation and protects your plants from the cold really well. So yeah, garden fleece, bubble wrap, sacking insulated with like newspaper and straw. So you can use those. You can also use a cloche, like a bell cloche, or a tunnel, like a little miniature polytunnel, or a big polytunnel if you've got big plants. So tunnels and a cold frame as well. So cold frames can be really good because you can get lighter weight cold frames, so you can move around your garden if you want to. Or if you've got little pots that you want to put in somewhere to protect them and you haven't got a greenhouse, a cold frame works really well to protect them. You can shut the lid on them and it's like a miniature greenhouse for them, so it's perfect. So a cold frame works really well to provide this kind of cover. So yes, as I say, there's many different forms of physical cover. Okay, so cover like this can insulate your plants from the cold whilst reducing damage. Now, the damage your plants can get from the cold can leave them vulnerable from diseases and can often affect them as they go right through the year, the new growing year. So from winter, follow through the seasons, back into winter again. So it can affect your plants through the whole new year which is going to cause you a lot more work, a lot more effort, a lot more stress. You're going to have to feed them more to help them recover. So to protect your plants from this challenge, you can prevent the ongoing issues, which is perfect. Reducing the workload, reducing the stress that it gives you, they're reducing the costs on you as well. So it's perfect. So they're very easy ways to kind of apply these forms of protection. So say you could just wrap them in fleece. You can get a horticultural fleece or garden fleece from any garden centre. You can get them off Amazon, for goodness sake, and just wrap it around your plants. So you can tie it with string. You can tape it if you want to, like duct tape. Depends on how windy your garden gets to say if it'll stay there or not, but that works. But you can tie it with string. You can tie it on itself as well. That works really well. So garden fleece is probably the easiest way to go. But if you've got an abundance of bubble wrap, if you've just moved house, that works very well as well. So physical cover for the cold, insulating your plants to reduce damage. Now, number three, no, we haven't got that far yet. Number 2, insulating the soil. Now, we spoke about this before. I think we did this last week as well in the benefits of winter. So insulating the soil, mulching the soil can help to insulate the root system of your plants growing in your garden. So this will also support the ecosystem within the soil and condition the soil, providing food for your plants in the spring. So there's actually probably more than 3. There's 3 main benefits that mulching can actually do for your garden. Insulating the root system is, in my opinion, one of the most important, but they're all very important. One of the most important, because if the root system gets damaged, this will instantly affect how the plant can grow, because the root system is where it takes its nutrients up from, its moisture up from. Without this, if the plant has to take the time to repair the root system, then it instantly knocks it back. The health is affected, the resilience is affected, the growth is affected. When it comes into spring, it will not be able to then kick off the season well, and everything will be stunted. So you really do want to look after the roots if you can. So mulching is an incredibly easy way of protecting the roots over the winter. So reducing damage, reducing the issues that your plants will have, making them stronger, happier, healthier plants in the spring, which is what we want, to reduce care. You can see where I'm going with this. Knock-on effect. So insulating the soil and the root systems of your plants with mulch. Now, number 3, on creating a microclimate in your garden. Now, this does sound a bit more complicated than it is. Microclimate sounds really like posh and like scientific, but it isn't. It's actually quite easy. So creating a microclimate in your garden doesn't have to require a walled garden, doesn't have to require a coastal, sunny, Mediterranean type garden, anything like that. It can be really simple to make, and it can be done by using fences, like fence panels, barriers, like a barriered off section of your garden. So if you've got old trellis panels or anything like that, it can be done by growing companion plantings, such as like wind breaking shrubs, trees, like thick shrubs, trees, anything like that. Umbrella type leaves, like bigger plants, I say like gunneras and things like that. Big leaved plants. Even dyeing back grasses can make a real difference to the temperature of your garden if they're grown in a collection to the plants around them. They can really create a nice little bit of temperate support. So that's really good. So these methods alone seem really simple and really like just really easy to put together, but they'll make such a difference when it comes to the temperature in your garden. So you can create a space which is sheltered and more temperate, reducing the risk of frost and the cold rolling in. This can work really nicely in a sunny and sheltered spot as well for your garden. So if you've got a particularly sunny area that you don't use for a lot, if you want to create like a microclimate in your garden, if you don't want to take your entire garden up and create a microclimate, just create a little section, then you can move plants or plant plants there that are particularly susceptible to frost damage. So that's a really good way of doing it. So it works really nicely in a sunny or sheltered area in your garden, but it can also make this, you can also, seriously, my brain. You can also make this with paneling and pots as a temporary measure. So if you've got a space in your garden that you have plants growing, you don't want to move them, but you want to protect them. You don't want to use cloches or barrier or tunnels or anything like that, or fleece. You can do this with paneling, like small fence panels if you want to, or if you've got trellis or like a windbreak type thing with pots and things, you can do that as a temporary measure as well. This will help towards keeping the temperature up in the area that you want it to. Microclimate will also help you to grow different plants in your garden and bring forward the growing season as well. So if you want to sow seeds outside and your garden is particularly like, I don't know, north facing and you get a bit of heavy wind through your garden, if you want to sow seeds outside of either the normal time of year or you want to do them earlier than normal, by creating a microclimate in the area that you want to sow the seeds, you can increase the soil temperature, which will then allow the seeds to germinate faster. So you can bring the season forward a little bit to support the seeds from growing. This also makes a very good alternative if you haven't got a greenhouse and you want to start growing your fruit and veg outside early in the year. So it works very well for that. So some gardens don't have enough room for a greenhouse, and this works quite nicely. As I say, or if you've got a cold frame, that works quite nicely. If you haven't got room for a greenhouse, a cold frame will support as well. You can't really grow tomatoes in a cold frame with any sense. Not enough height, but you know. So to support your garden as you go through the winter into spring will help your garden become much stronger and healthier as it picks up in growth. So this will also reduce the need for care. We were saying this just now about the soil, when you insulate the soil with the root systems and stuff. Supporting it in this way will reduce and will create stronger plants, will create healthier plants. The soil itself will be healthier as well. So it's reduced the need for care as you go through the year. A stronger plant will also be more resilient as well, which is good. Recover from damage and disease faster, which will leave little need for you to interfere in the garden so much. I seem to feel like it's a bad thing, you know, to like generally step in, allowing you to enjoy your garden a lot more than you having to work in it all the time, which is amazing. So all of this, what I'm kind of getting at a little bit, is there are ways that you can help your garden support itself without getting too involved as well. So hopefully this helps. These 3 methods are quite budget friendly, if you like. They're quite budget friendly. They're easy to apply. If you have problems with the cold and particular plants in your garden, they're really easy to do. Very easy to get hold of the materials for it as well. And if you make your own compost, just mulching the flower beds, the borders, anything around your garden that your plants, to protect the soil, protect the roots of your plants. I know what I'm trying to say. Protect the roots of your plants. If you make your own compost, it's so much easier and it's free. So it's amazing. So I do hope these have helped you, or at least given you something to think about. If you're going to start your doing more in your garden as you come through the new year, you can start thinking about this, how you can support your garden with natural resources, making it easier and looking forward in the year rather than just treating the issues as they appear now. So if you have tried any of these methods, I want to put this one out there. If you tried any of these methods, let me know what you've tried and let me know how they've worked for you. If you have got any suggestions, any alternatives that work for you with the cold and protecting your garden from the cold, let me know in the comments, because they're all useful. And there's only so many I can fit into a life without talking for hours and boring you all to death. So if you've got any suggestions that have worked for you, please let me know in the comments, post in the group if you want to, and let me know what you think, what's worked and everything, and that might help other people out in the group. That is all I have got to say for you today. Hopefully it's helped you all the same. It's been useful. I will call it a day. And if you've got any questions, as I say, please feel free to post below this video, post in the comments, post in the group, whatever you want to do, whatever's easier for you. I'll see you next week for the next episode of Natural Gardening Live. Have an amazing week, and I will see you all next week. Right. I'll look out for your questions if you've got any, and I'll see you then. See you later. Bye.